Welcome to day 2 of the advent of ChatGPT like self-service analytics with today's challenge, how to get rid of the technical naming in our semantic layer that we've introduced in our last video in day 1. And in Veezoo, one way to do this is to rename concepts. So let me jump back to the knowledge graph that we have created together. You can see that on the customer concept, there's this dim-sec, which is actually the technical name for the segment. We can see that there are 3 unique values: consumer, corporate, and home office. And our business users will not understand DIMSEC, and they shouldn't. So we can actually just rename this concept in Visual Studio. So row 35 actually shows you the name that will be exposed to the business users, and row 37 indicates you how to identify a segment, which you can leave the same. So I just renamed this to segment. Maybe at the same time, we can also see up here, the customer ID is actually something that we don't want to expose to the end user. So maybe we can also get rid of that. I'll just save. So if I go now back to Veezoo and refresh here, we can already see that our knowledge graph looks slightly different on the customer itself. We now have segment, as we just named it, and the customer ID is gone. Now we can already ask a question like, hey, how many customers placed no order last year per segment? So we can now use the nice name that we've just created. And we can see here our answers. We see the number of customers per segment. Customer has no order in 2022. And if we take a look at the SQL query, you can see this beautiful query that Veezoo generated. We see a count distinct on the customer ID. That's because Veezoo knows that a customer is being identified by the customer ID, where there's no order basically in 2022, and it's correctly grouped by DIMSEC, which is still the technical name that we kept. And maybe quickly to dive deeper on this point here. So whenever I ask something about like how many customers, Veezoo will correctly know how to count it. And actually, when it will list the customers, it will not use this customer ID, but instead use the customer name, which we have here defined as the one kind of to be used when we display a customer in a list, for instance, like here. Hope you had fun and see you tomorrow.